It's from Justified Me on YouTube. What happens if Johnny wins, but Amber hasn't got the money to pay him? Nima Haddadi, let me throw that to you.
There's going to be a judgment. It's going to haunt her for all of eternity. I don't think she's going to be able to pay back a very large settlement. So if she buys any property or anything that she does, that judgment will always be hanging over her. It's going to be bad.
Well, let me follow up with that, Janina Tamiam. Can she discharge this in something called bankruptcy? If there were, we're getting ahead of ourselves, assuming there were a verdict and it was a monetary amount, could she discharge it in bankruptcy and get away from it?
I think she could discharge this in bankruptcy. Again, she's not going to be able to pay this, and it's going to hang over her head. But the other thing is, she's also, in a situation, there's a petition to have her removed from Aquaman. Her part was cut down way back. I think she shelved at L'Oreal. She doesn't even have the means to make money, as it seems right now, to pay off a judgment. So it's a really, really dire position for her to be in. And, because of that situation, she may have to claim bankruptcy for other reasons.
Okay, Nima Haddadi, let me go to a question from Nancy McKinley on YouTube. And this is an interesting question. Do you think Amber Heard's attorneys will face any backlash to their careers, practices from this trial? Now, before you answer that, let me just say, we've heard that, people send nasty messages, people send threats to everybody participating in this case. That is a no-no. Having been in that position where somebody posted on Twitter once, one of my clients with a bullet hole through her head and fake blood, really, you don't need that. The reason why we have trials is so that people can get to the truth and justice can be served. We don't need that kind of nonsense. But let's talk about this, Nima, because it is a question that perhaps maybe people are concerned about.
Yeah. Can there be backlash? Yes, of course. But at the end of the day, this is a very unique trial. It's out in the public. There's a lot of pressure. It's not the best case for Amber Heard's team. Nonetheless, they're doing their best. It's easy for us all to criticize when we're on the outside, not in. But I think they're doing great. I think at the end, they're all going to walk away unscathed, and I think their careers will benefit from this for sure.
And we have a lot of questions, Janine, but I want to go to one that actually relates to the video we just saw, since it's fresh in everyone's mind, okay? If Amber Heard did not give TMZ the rights to the video, and this is from SLBJPB YouTube, if Amber Heard did not give TMZ the rights to the video, why is she not suing them for copyright infringement?
Well, that's a very good question. And she says that she hasn't tipped TMZ off, but maybe she's given this to somebody who did, because they've got to verify. When they get these videos, there's steps that they take before they publish it. Going back to that video, though, as much as it's bad for Johnny Depp because, he's slamming around and he's, drinking wine in the morning, it's also bad for her because she doesn't look like she's afraid. She's taping him. She seems to be goading him. So, I had this conversation with someone the other day. To me, like living with somebody like Johnny Depp, who's smashing up the kitchen in the morning and breaking things and kicking the counters, it's an abusive environment. It's a hostile environment. But that's to me. When you look at her, she seems to almost be like laughing about it, goading him, asking him questions, taping him. It doesn't come across as good for her, especially since, the argument is that she was the one who was the aggressor and she was the one who was the abuser, and these were his reactions to the abuse he suffered at her hands.
And Nima, let me follow up with that. An additional question from ones you've answered from Asif Kamran on YouTube. What will happen if Amber Heard, Johnny Depp, depending on who wins, if they win a monetary judgment, fail to pay any defamation monies and other damages awarded? It assumes, number one, that there's going to be an award and somebody will win. But let's assume that for the moment. What will happen if they fail to pay?
I think there could be court sanctions. It depends on what the attorneys want to do. Johnny Depp has said from day one, it's not really about the money for me. I think what he was looking for was court of public opinion, and he won that. I don't think he's going to try to risk that with maybe being petty or going aggressively after her if she can't pay. But who knows? With this case, who knows?
Who knows? Well, we're going to know at 3 o'clock today, Eastern Daylight Time. You'll be watching us at the Law and Crime Network when the jury in the Johnny Depp Amber Heard case Amber Heard Johnny Depp case announces their verdict to the world that has been watching. In the meantime, again, let's take a trip down memory lane. We showed you Camille Vasquez last time. Let's look at a little clip from the trial where Amber Heard's attorney, Elaine Brenderhoff, during the opening statements, promised certain things to the jury. And you'll decide whether she delivered. Let's listen.
Now, there were several people that were supposed to go to Johnny's Island, Bahamas Island, in December for Christmas. He was going to bring his 2 kids. He had invited Amber's parents, who loved Johnny, and unfortunately her father used to drink and do drugs with Johnny a lot. And he was also going to take Rocky, her friend who lived next door in a penthouse, and her fiance, and Rocky's parents. Imagine being able to go to a Bahamas Island for Christmas. What a cool thing to do. But they all were so upset what he did to Amber on December 15, they said, no, we're not going. We're not gonna condone this. We're not going. But he talked Amber into going. He guilted her into going. I'm gonna be with my kids. Please come. I'll be better. I'm gonna get better. Amber went. And then he ends up assaulting her even there and sexually assaults her even there. Now, you'll see a video from them of the Bahamas, the place that they stayed in on his island. And the video just conveniently leaves out the wardrobe in the bathroom where he committed the assault. It just goes around and makes it look like it's a one room and his kids were there and there's no way they could have done that. But you'll hear the testimony and you'll see the pictures.
Okay, trip down memory lane, but let me tell you what's not down memory lane. That is the activity outside the courthouse. You see it happening right there. Our own reporters, Anjanette Levy and Stacey Delicat, who were here this morning, been at the courthouse all day. They will be in the courtroom when that verdict is read. We will be streaming it to you live. And if anything happens outside that courthouse or inside that courthouse, we will tell you about it because you'll be here watching the Law and Crime Network. 3 p.m. the verdict will be read, but you have to stay with us now because in trials, you never know who you'll see pulling up to that courthouse getting ready for that verdict. But in the meantime, let's go to some of your questions as we're looking at the courthouse there. And this was one that I'll answer. It's from Sierra Cook. Can you please answer this because a lot of people are curious? Can Amber Heard be charged with perjury for lying under oath, changing her story a number of times? Well, generally in civil cases, prosecutors don't charge people in perjury. There's an exception, for instance, maybe in the federal government when it involves a governmental employee, because they have a lot of things to do with their time, such as shootings and murders and all. If the judge were to make a referral and say there's direct evidence that somebody, for instance, changed evidence or intentionally falsified evidence, that could be a different story. But generally, the likelihood of her being charged with perjury is not very great. Number one, you first have to find out that she lied, and we don't even know she may win this case. We're going to see at 3 o'clock today. But let me bring my guests back into this. Nima Haddadi, criminal defense attorney, and Janina Tamian, also a trial attorney. Again, we have viewers from around the United States and around the world. This is from Summy Flynn on YouTube from Ireland. Janine, let me go to you on this. Will Amber Heard be able to sue if she loses? And I guess that means sue Johnny Depp for additional damages, sue who? What do you think?
So I'm not really sure what the question is. I mean, are they wondering if she could then bring a different claim against Johnny Depp? I think that, again, the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard are going to want to put this behind them. I don't think Amber Heard's going to sue with regard to this particular matter ever again. I think that, you know, she's been on the stand. She's had to deal with a lot of really humiliation on the stand. She's had to deal with being trolled on social media, terrible things being said about her child. I don't think that she's going to do that at all if she is not successful.
And Nima, let me go to you with our next question. This is from Johnny Solar on YouTube. And he says, if Johnny Depp hadn't lost the libel case in the UK against the Sun, do you think he'd still have filed this defamation case against Amber? And when you answer that, Nima, remember that he filed this case somewhere in early 2019 after the article was published in 2018. But can you, basically, would he have continued on with this suit if he hadn't lost his case in the Sun?
Yeah, I think Johnny Depp wanted to get his story out. He wanted to, his career had just taken a nosedive, you know. He wanted to just prove his innocence in the court of public opinion. And that's what he did through this trial. He got to show the real Amber Heard. He got to show the real Johnny Depp. He got to take responsibility for a lot of the mistakes. And I think this is why the trial is turning out the way that it did. I think people like and they admire what he's doing.
And I'll answer the next one. Valerie Torres of YouTube, can we watch the verdict from here? Absolutely. What you're seeing right now is right outside the courthouse in Fairfax, Virginia, live, where Stacey Delicat from the Law & Crime Network and Angelina Levy are there. We will bring you anything we see, and you have to watch that. You will be playing this in the background. If anything happened, if the lawyers drive up, you'll be able to see it here first on the Law & Crime Network while we wait for that verdict to be announced at 3 p.m. inside the courtroom. So, Janina Tamian, Lindsay Lauter of Facebook, does it look bad that Depp will not be in court for the reading of the verdict? Now, let me just tell you, Janine and our viewers, that should there be press conferences, whether they be from here or England or anywhere by the Johnny Depp or Amber Heard teams, we will bring them to you live here at the Law & Crime Network. So the reading of the verdict is not the end of this. We will stay with it and we'll see what happens because we know you want to see what happens. But Janine, let me go to you to answer that specific question from Lindsay Lauter.
So I've discussed this before, and I think that it's a really bad look for Johnny Depp not to be at the courthouse for the verdict. But Gene Rossi said something in an earlier segment that, stuck out even more with me. He said, by him not being here for the verdict, it's an insult to the taxpayers of Fairfax, and he was specifically wanting to file his suit here for specific, more favorable defamation rules. And it's also an insult to the jurors who, came and listened to, 6 weeks out of their lives, deliberated, and came back with a verdict. So I think it's a bad look. They're saying that he had previous engagements doing this music tour. However, he's not listed on there, so I don't know if I believe that. And again, I think that he should have, out of respect for the judicial system, out of respect for the judge, the jury, and, Fairfax County, he should have been in court today to hear the verdict.
Wow. Even though the jury is not supposed to be watching, but we all know that, well, we all think that maybe juries, not this one, because this one is very ethical, but some juries may watch. Nima Haddadi, let me just go back to you. This is a first-time chat. Thank you from Twitch, first-time chatter. Andrew Body, thank you for watching the Law & Crime Network, and I know you're going to stay with us as we telecast that verdict live from inside that courtroom at 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. But the question is this. If this is ruled, in other words, if the jury comes back with a verdict in favor of Depp, what implications are there for future defamation and freedom of speech cases?
I don't think there's much. I don't think that this is a precedent-setting trial. I think what's happening here is the press and everything that it's getting. You have two of them, one of the most famous people on the planet and his wife. We're getting intimate details of the inner workings, and you get to see that even actors and actresses have real life problems, That's the biggest thing about this case. I don't think there's going to be any type of precedent or anything of that nature being set.
Well, I want to bring you back, as we still show you on screen for the moment until we get there, the audio of Depp versus Heard arguing that Bahamas trip. That's the one that Elaine Brenderhoff mentioned in her opening statement, where she says there was a sexual assault. Amber Heard says it was sexual assault by Johnny Depp. Why don't we listen to the audio of them that was played in the courtroom?
What things have you been doing?
Working on this thing, not doing this sort of thing, trying to change something. It's last several times.
Hence, screaming when I spilled wine accidentally on you for falling asleep, and screaming in front of my kids and freaking Jack out. And that's trying.
I would appreciate. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Tommy.
That him up,
I'm sorry I son up.
No, it weirded him out. He'd never.
I'm so sorry I fucked kids up.
You didn't my kids up, but it was pretty weird for him,
Because I jumped up and screamed because I wanted to. No, that's amazing.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm surprised he's. So we're going for the countdown.
I don't need your
No, what can't
your clever
something against me again?
comebacks. No. You think you're controlling yourself?
Character.
You think you're controlling yourself?
Your character has become so clear, especially when you use them. It's embarrassing for you. I'm gonna walk away now because you're actually making me seem even worse. And believing me, I'm not gonna be calling you at 3 o'clock in the morning after having an Ambien and think, oh, I'm gonna just forgive and move on. Trust me, it is gross how you're using the kids. I've done nothing but be there for them in a good way. And if you take that for granted, fine. You're right. Meet a woman who would not jump up and scream if she had been spilled on 3 times in a row. And I hope you're happy with whoever that is, because that would be a special kind of person, no doubt.
And let me just ask you right now, let me just tell you right now, we do have a verdict in that Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial, Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp trial. It will be read at 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Our own reporters are on the scene. As a matter of fact, I'm going to actually toss to one of them right now, and that's not just one of them, that's one of the best. The Stacey Delicat, she is on the scene. She's actually going to take over anchoring as that verdict is read, and I will be here to continue to answer your questions through the afternoon. But here, don't move away from the Law and Crime Network. Stacey.
Linda, thank you for that kind introduction. Couldn't do it without you back there helping us out with all of your great insight. Time is 2:49 Eastern Time. We're about 11 minutes away from when the judge said the verdict would be read. We know this is a judge who keeps things on time. She sticks to schedule, so you can expect very likely sometime in the next 10 minutes that live picture is going to go up in the courtroom. The judge is going to call the jury in. She is going to ask the foreperson how did they find on the various counts here, and then we will find out whether there will be any judgments, so on and so forth. But let me set the scene for you outside the courthouse here. If we can put up our shot from outside the front of the court, obviously a huge amount of media. Everyone is set up and ready to go. We've got the podium outside the courthouse. As soon as the verdict comes in and everyone starts to stream out, we'll be getting interviews live on the air. But we've also seen a lot of the fans, a lot of the spectators who are here for the duration of the trial. Well, they've all been watching our coverage. They've all been watching all of the online commentary. They knew in the 1 o'clock hour when we said we'd reached a verdict, they heard, they got in their cars, and they headed over here. And so what we're seeing outside the courthouse is more fans showing up, Johnny Depp fans with signs, perhaps some Amber Heard signs as well. There are people who brought lawn chairs that are set up outside waiting to watch the action, and you can see, as I said now, that crowd growing outside. Ann Jeanette has gone inside the court to get inside the courtroom to be in position for when the verdict's read. Of course, she's going to have all of the reaction from inside. And what I can also tell you, I snuck up there just a few minutes ago before coming back out here, and it was starting to get pretty crowded up there. This was not the scene today that we had seen the last 6 weeks when people were getting here in the middle of the night to line up for bracelets. No, there were bracelets, these blue bracelets, which you need to get to the courtroom. They were available as late as 8:30, 9 o'clock. So you can imagine some people were able to come later in the day, snag these wristbands, which gets them access to the courtroom or the overflow room inside. I can tell you a lot of the people that I saw were not members of the media. They were just fans, spectators, interested people. There was like a mother up there with a young child going in to get a seat in the courtroom. So it's going to be a packed courtroom for sure when the verdict comes in just a few minutes. What else can I tell you out here? Well, again, Amber Heard is expected to be here. In fact, one of our producers is standing by to give us an update as to when her car arrives. It should be very soon if it hasn't already arrived, because we are getting close to 3 o'clock. The big question is, Johnny Depp going to be here? No. Ann Jeanette Levy confirmed earlier this afternoon with Johnny Depp's team that he will not be returning from the UK. As you know, as we've been telling you, he flew out there over the weekend after closings wrapped up on Friday. He surprised fans at the Jeff Beck concert in England on Sunday night, and then did another show on Monday night, and last night in London at the Royal Albert Hall, much to fans' delights. Kate Moss was even in the audience last night. According to the British British tabloids. He invited her to come to the show, and they were even seen spending some time together backstage before she was photographed leaving the theater. Kate Moss, of course, one of the high-profile witnesses to testify in this trial in its last week. You can even perhaps hear in the background helicopters right now. There are helicopters up above, local news helicopters getting the pictures of the crowds gathering outside of the courthouse right now. Again, we were told Johnny Depp is not going to be back from the UK. He will be watching the verdict over there, perhaps performing the next few nights, because we know Jeff Beck has several other concerts scheduled through the weekend in the UK. Earlier, we saw both legal teams inside. Just about 10 minutes ago, I saw part of Depp's security team go inside. These are people who have been in the courtroom every day as this trial has gone on. They are all taking their places inside right now, waiting for this to get underway. I mean, Linda, you've watched this closely the whole time, just as close as anyone. And am I right that, you know, right around 3 o'clock sharp, we're going to see something happen because this judge likes to stick to schedule?
She is absolutely a purist. She wants to schedule. She has probably told the jurors that they're coming right out of 3 to get their belongings ready. And yes, we will have that verdict right here at the Long Time Network, Stacey. Absolutely.
So here's a good question that came in from Someone's Goat, love that name, on YouTube. She said, are we ever going to see the jury, or are they never going to be shown for their protection? Linda, we wouldn't see the jury. Tell our viewers.
Yes, we don't get to see juries in the United States of America. We kind of protect their identity in the courtroom. And I'm looking at the courtroom right now, Stacey. I'm looking at the picture of the attorneys all seated. I think that's Amber Heard in the courtroom. I really can't tell. But yes, the judges also entered an order and said that the jurors' names will not be released publicly, at least by the state of Virginia, for 1 year. That does not mean the jurors can't identify themselves. They could actually have their own press conference. They can talk to the media. They can self-identify. It's just that the state of Virginia will not release their names unless there's some reason to do so earlier, before 1 year.
We have 2 other guests with us, of course, still with us. Hey, Mike Korbanix, law and crime analyst, joining us, as well as Nima Rahmani. Okay, I take it back. It's a little chaotic with the helicopters going above. Okay, Nima Rahmani is still with us. We had an interesting question earlier, which I think it's good to remind viewers of, because we have so many more people tuning in now, which is, are there any restrictions on the jurors after this case is done, after they deliver their verdict and the judgment? Can they write a book? Can they sell their notes, someone said? Are there any restrictions on the jury? Linda?
Stacey, no, there are no restrictions on that. The only thing they can't do is with the notes. They will not get their note backs, okay? They will not get their notes back. Those get stayed by the court, and they get destroyed. Now, they can redo their notes as if they went home every night and write what they remembered, and therefore sell maybe those the recollections. But with regard to anything else, they can talk freely. They have a First Amendment right to talk freely. All that can happen is you can't harass them as a lawyer. You can't go and harass them. No one should be harassing a jury anyhow. But they're free to talk and they're free to publish.
Okay, so, you know, and some very well might. This is a very high-profile case where there has been a lot of interest. I mean, right now, we've got about 1.5 million of you tuning into our YouTube channel, so thank you for sticking with Law and Crime for this and for these key moments. Again, you're looking at a live picture inside the courtroom right now where everyone is assembled. Just about 4 minutes to go until 3 o'clock, when we expect to see the judge come in and call the jury in for the reading of this verdict. Linda, we know there are a bunch of questions. There were a bunch of points on the special verdict form. How long do you think this will take?
Well, you're going to get a feel right away, because I have the special verdict form from Johnny Depp right in front of us, because our producers are just so great in getting it. I also have the one for Amber Heard. The jury form is about 4 pages long. It will go pretty fast. It won't be longer than 10 minutes right here, and maybe less. If they find no calls of action, for instance, on 1A, if they answer to, do you find that Mr. Depp has proven all the elements of defamation on that first quotation regarding sexual violence, then they don't answer the other questions. They go right to number 2. And if they don't find that, the likelihood is they won't find for him on any of them. And the same with Amber Heard. So it's going to be under 10 minutes, Stacey.
Okay, that's good to know. And just to remind our viewers what we expect to happen here, if this just takes 10 to 15 minutes, the jurors, once they're led back in the jury room, they'll later be dismissed, but we expect the legal teams for both sides will come out and give some remarks. Other players in this as well. Unclear whether anyone will hear anything from Amber Heard immediately after this. And by the way, if you look on the screen, she is seated there in the courtroom awaiting the verdict with the rest of us. An interesting question that we got from Haley Howell on Facebook. Has the judge already heard the verdict, or will she be hearing it for the first time when we do as well? Janine, do you want to take that one? Okay. Janine has left us. We thank her for her time. Linda, the judge is going to hear the verdict just when we do, right?
Stacey, I'm sorry. I thought Nima was going to field that one, but I'll field it. Yes,
the judge. Nima, please take it, Nima. Guys, I'm out here in our studio A. It's hot. It's humid. I can't see all of you in the monitor. So, Nima, please, will the jury hear? Will the judge rather be hearing the verdict for the first time when we do?
The judge is going to get to see it, I guess, maybe 30, 45 seconds before, and then at that point, yeah. So the judge will know right before we will.
Okay, so this is all kind of happening in real time, off the cuff here.
Really?
And the judge will be
sorry,
out,
I really have to learn how to put the thing on again.
Sarah Wilson on YouTube asked, are they
hi,
going to show the
Silver.
courtroom when it's being read? Yes, Sarah,
how are you
that's what
going?
You're seeing now on your screen is a live picture of the courtroom. You see the attorneys there. You see Johnny Depp's attorneys there. You see Amber's attorneys, and you see Amber herself. Again, for those of you who are just tuning in, because we have new people logging on every minute as we get closer and closer, literally 1 minute away from 3 o'clock.
I actually really hope it will be
obviously is
Johnny.
going to be here. He's not there now. He is still in the UK after doing a series of surprise performances with Depp back. He is expected to stay there. His team said that he had commitments in the UK, and he will be
because she was really lying, and the jury knows that as well. But if they think that his text to his friends was mental abuse, what I'm not really agreeing with because it was to another person,
where we have seen crowds growing,
then maybe they will actually say or
for this verdict to be read. It is about 3 o'clock.
Go in favor of Amber. But
yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor. All right. Just for everybody in the gallery, reminder that this is a court of law, and regardless of the verdict, I will not tolerate any outbursts whatsoever.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you.
Uh-oh, outbursts. I think it's really about the abuse. You know, if they see his text as abuse, yes or no. So, that will be a bit of a point. But, hopefully they actually go through the lies. I'm a bit disappointed that he isn't there, though. Yeah, I'm really learning. Like, that mic, I always forget it. Like I'm talking here for the last 20 minutes to myself. Oh, there we go. No outdoors, people. Oh, please.
If I could have the attorneys approach for a moment.
I'm really nervous. It's really stupid, to be honest. Like 6 weeks of a lot of headache, to be honest. A lot of headache. So yeah, I really want to know. I think she should be held accountable for the lie that she told. But if they see the text messages as mental abuse, even when it's not
again, you're looking live
to her directly.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what I need you to do, I need to give the forms back to you. When you find for a defamatory statement, one or more, you need to fill out the compensatory damages. It has to be at least $1 for compensatory damages and up to whatever you feel the damages should be.
Oh, I forget to put in the damages.
Back to the operation room and do that for me, okay?
You must be. Oh, you must be kidding me. Is this really happening? So, I actually think that I'm going for Johnny.
So we'll be in recess until we hear back from them. Don't go too far. Okay.
The woman just can't pay, and for Johnny it was more because of his name.
Well, just as we were telling you, this could wrap up in just about 10 minutes by 3 times
Really?
15. Not so fast. There was a little sidebar going on with the attorneys in the front. Apparently, the jurors didn't fill out the damages section. The judge now sending them back to complete this special verdict form, literally like a worksheet that they need to fill out. They didn't put in
because
the damages.
if it
Linda,
was Amber, it should be. So
somebody won this case. That somebody won their defamation
exactly.
claims, right? Now, the fact that they didn't fill out the compensatory damages award, I think may bode well for Johnny Depp. The judge said it
I
has to be
think
at least
so
$1.
as well.
Usually you see if somebody wins, you have to fill out an award.
I think they didn't fill in anything because it wasn't about
he was the one that didn't ask for damages,
Johnny.
if you recall.
Yeah,
said,
well,
"I'm
Johnny
not
didn't
seeking
want
damages."
money, so if
She
they
asked
didn't
for, I think
put
it was
anything in.
$350,000 damages. So
People,
it sounds
I'm
like
almost-
someone won. It could be Johnny Depp because the jury may have
I'm almost happy.
award for damages, but under the law, at least has to be $1.
Right, so maybe they missed that
Maybe.
instruction and just figured, oh, we're not
Well, I
awarding
don't
damages, so we're going to leave it blank.
That's right. That's what.
Spoiler alert.
Now, in the very unlikely event that they just forgot to do that section, and
I
they
don't
actually
think they
did
forgot
intend
it.
for
They
some kind of damages.
actually
from
knew,
viewers
but
earlier, which is what happens if there's
Johnny
a verdict,
didn't
say,
want any money.
against
Although
Amber Heard, and there's a judgment awarded for Johnny Depp, and Amber Heard doesn't have that money, whether it's $50 million, whether it's $20 million,
I
whether
think
it's $10
that's
million.
the case.
What happens if she doesn't have that money, Linda?
I think so, yeah. Or
the person that gets the verdict, they don't have the defendant doesn't have the money, right?
I should have.
You can pursue her.
I should have made this verdict stream a drink stream and having champagne, or if Johnny wins and when he loses, like a big pint of
We're
whiskey.
making a lot of assumptions. Maybe it's against him and it's $1. Who knows? But the likelihood is that with $1 verdict, the jury may just want to be sending a message for whoever wins. And again, we're assuming it's Johnny Depp, but it also could be Amber Heard because she was seeking damages. Maybe they found for her, but not giving them damages. We just don't know.
Yeah, but you don't
this
really
should be relatively
put
quick, I would think, right?
no damages if somebody is
decided on
actually
this, and
looking
it was just an
for.
oversight that they didn't put anything in or didn't know that they had to write something.
Nah.
So, you know,
Like, they're not really
back
stupid.
in a
Wasn't
few
in the
minutes.
jury
As we've been
instructions
telling
that
our
it had
viewers,
to
and
be
more
a
and more
minimum
are
of
tuning in. The
$1?
verdict has not
I
been
don't
read
think
yet.
so.
Just to bring everyone up to speed, here's what happened.
So
Right
if
at 3 o'clock on the dot,
Amber
the
would
judge,
have
she is very
won, I
punctual.
think she would
came
get
into the
more
courtroom, everyone
because
stood up, she
Johnny
brought in the
has
jury. There was a
more
little
money,
sidebar between
even
the
if he
attorneys up
was
in front.
financially
They were looking
struggling.
and they said, oh, guys, jurors, you didn't fill out the compensatory damages.
Well, after this 6 weeks, like, I need to make a pint of,
and so the jury was
doesn't
sent back
really
out
matter.
to take care of that, and that's what we're waiting for at this
Oh,
point. Again,
it's what you
Amber
said,
Heard, as you
Silver,
can
like,
see,
they
is
had
there in
one
the courtroom
job.
with her attorneys. Johnny Depp is not here. His team having told us that because of prior commitments in the UK,
And
which
now
are
they
going to
actually
be,
saw he
shows,
isn't
he's
there,
going to
so
use it with
maybe
Jeff
they will
Beck. He
change
be
the
watching
verdict as well.
from the UK. So who knows? Maybe he's watching our coverage. If so, Johnny, call us. We want to do an interview with you as soon as this is all over. Linda,
Woman,
any
everybody
final
wants to
predictions
do
here as we
an
wait
interview
for
with Johnny.
word?
Johnny,
Well, it's very
if you're
interesting with
watching this
possible
live
dollar
stream,
worth of
please,
damages. Now,
I would
have a
love to do an
question here,
interview as
Stacey.
well.
I
Like,
wonder if the teams know
and I'm public.
who the verdict was for, because remember, the judge
That
brought
will
them to the
never
bench.
happen.
They were looking through the verdict form. She obviously had to tell them that there was a verdict in favor of someone,
God,
but had
they
to send them back
forgot
the damages. We can't see
to
the
fill
courtroom, so
out
we
the
can't see the
damages.
body language or what's
Interesting.
happening.
That's a good
and all.
point.
So,
That is a good point.
I wonder whether they know who's won and who is lost, Stacey.
And if they did perhaps see that, I mean, would that be an issue? Would there be any sort of violation of rules or any ethics
I don't
issues
think
that
they
saw
know.
before it was read out publicly in court?
Absolutely. Quite frankly, they have a right to see it and to tell their clients.
I
so
know,
there's
right?
No violation. They have to know
I would
when
get
the
like
jury has
a
filled out the
lot
forms,
of
and
followers.
they have to know is there a problem, because the judge has to tell them what she is going to do, so they can either lodge an objection or not lodge an objection.
How weird would
And
that
again,
be if
could they
Johnny
have
Depp
forgotten
just
to
sent
fill it
an
out?
email like,
They
okay,
may
I'm
not
doing
have
the
known that
interview
you
with
just
you.
give $1
No
compensatory
problem.
damages. Maybe it wasn't in the instructions. Quite frankly, I don't remember seeing it, but we should have one of our,
Nah.
our legal
You can hope and you can
fabulous
dream,
people
but
here that
don't
went
think
through
that will
everything
ever
with a
happen.
fine-tooth comb again to see
Well,
whether
it's not
there
that
was an
difficult to
instruction
put a
about whether or not you
$1 on
had
the
to
bloody
award a
papers.
compensatory
Or they
damage of
actually
$1
laughing
if
at
somebody
themselves
wins.
now in the jury room.
Let me set the scene for those who are just tuning in. You're looking at a picture live outside the Fairfax County Courthouse here, where you see the crowds are growing. If you can hear in the audio behind me, there are
It
helicopters
is
circling up and above
weird
local
though,
news.
like
Helicopters taking pictures
now
of the
they're
crowds.
sent out
It was
again
just,
for those
I think, gosh, I'm
damages.
losing track already,
But
around
now they
1:30
have
when we
seen
got
that
word
Johnny Depp
that a verdict
isn't
was going to be
there.
read at 3 o'clock. At that point, it was basically just media hanging out outside, trying to keep cool. As soon as we found out the verdict was coming, well, quickly, all the media assembled in their spots, and we started to see more and more cars pull up, more and more cars pull up into the parking lot, more fans come outside. Obviously, more people go inside the courtroom. You have to have one of these special wristbands in
Well,
order to be in the
exactly.
courtroom.
Well, they
the
have to
overflow
go
room.
to
And
their
now we see a much
little
bigger crowd, which is probably going to
room.
continue to grow over the next few minutes.
Now
It's
even the
possible, since we
reporter
now
is
know
coming
that
out. It's
Johnny
like,
Depp
come on,
is
people.
not coming, that some of the fans who were hoping to catch a glimpse after the verdict was read, they decided to sit it out because they know
It
he's not
doesn't
here.
take that
Again,
long
Amber
to
Heard is
put
there
like
inside of
5
the
mil
courtroom with your
or
legal
$1
team.
or
Unclear
500.
whether she'll make any kind of statement afterwards. As you can see in
Or
that
maybe
picture,
they
outside
need
the
to
courtroom, there
have
is
a
a
day
live
to
picture.
actually decide
There
how
is a
much they
podium,
want to
set
give.
up with all the microphones. So as soon as the verdict's read and the legal teams come out and the other key players come out, we are going to be getting that reaction to you, those responses to you live. A little bit of behind-the-scenes info here. Our own Ann Jeanette has just stepped outside, so she's going to join me in just a second to give me the
I don't
lowdown
know,
on what's
but
going
I
on
have
inside,
like
what
the
the
really
timeline is here, when we could see the jury back in
underbelly
the courtroom.
excitement
But again,
going.
if you're just joining us, we were supposed
It's
to
like
have the verdict read right at 3 o'clock.
the moment you
The judge
actually
did
tell
call
yourself
the
a
jury into the room
weirdo.
right at 3 o'clock. Johnny Depp's legal
Maybe
team
I
was
should
there,
lay
Amber
on my
Heard
own
and
couch
her
and talk
legal
about
team
it,
were sitting in
because
there.
this isn't good.
But they looked at the paperwork, they looked at this special jury form, and someone said, oh, the judge
I
said, you
don't
guys
even
forgot to
think
fill
they
out
have a
something pretty
printer. They
crucial here
just
because
write
the
it with a
damages
pen or a
page
pencil or
was left
something.
blank. And the attorneys had a little
And
sidebar.
then
and
another
the judge
thing,
sent the jury
like
back to
I
fill in
thought
the damages.
that, and I think she is sitting on the side.
What's going on in there? What was the vibe? What's going on?
Well, I think the vibe was, everybody, we're told that we're not allowed to talk to anybody in there, which, we're news people, so, and we're just human beings,
Right.
so that's really difficult, so we got kind of shushed. But it was interesting because it was kind of heavy, like Amber Heard walked in, she kind of greeted her attorneys, wearing a black dress. Her hair kind of pulled back loosely. This is different from a lot of the times we've seen her come in with the braids. I couldn't see whether she smiled or anything like that, but she came in. Obviously, we know Johnny Depp had previously scheduled concerts with Jeff Beck in London, so he's not here.
Right.
He's watching, we're told, from the UK. So they came in, the jury walked in.
Patience, Johnny,
They
patience.
took their seats.
It
They kinda
will
just looked
come
around slightly,
eventually.
not a lot. And then they just kind of focused on the judge. Judge, as Karate calls the lawyers up, she says, you have to assign damages. I think I can safely say if they didn't assign damages and they were supposed to, they found defamatory statements. right?
Right. That's what we have been saying, you know, and Linda agrees with you too. Tell me, first of all, who's in the courtroom in the audience?
I was
Is it a mix
actually
of
thinking
media
the
and
same.
regular people, onlookers? Is it completely packed?
You know, it's not as packed as it could be, or as it
Well,
has
it was
been. Like,
pretty
there have been a lot of
busy
days where
inside.
it's just totally packed.
Or it
I
looked
was sitting next
pretty
to a
busy.
reporter from the UK, another reporter from Courthouse News. We were just, you know, we've talked a lot during this case. We saw some of the local, I would call like more local Depp fans here.
Yeah, it's
I
like
didn't
30
see any
minutes
Amber Heard
over
supporters
time.
up there. That doesn't mean there might not have been one or two there, but I did not see them. And, you know, it's just kind of like, I felt like everybody's just kind of sitting there. They're waiting for the big news.
Anticipation.
Yeah.
And so it's like almost like, oh, false alarm. And you came back out here. Does that mean you don't think they're going to be back for a bit?
Well,
What's
I just
going
felt
on time-wise?
I felt I should come out here, and sorry, I'm a little bit out of breath.
Yeah, and Antoinette has her.
I think they just went back
running for you guys to
having
get
a
you
coffee and another
everything you need to
cookie,
know.
what they had
And
to
don't
pay
forget,
for by
it's close to
themselves.
100 degrees out
Yeah,
here.
it's
So
close
thank
to
you,
100
Antoinette.
degrees, and I swapped the
So-
the sandals for the Brooks, you know, sneakers. So
Now they
but I
actually
ran
really
out of here
have
as everybody
to
else did, got on the
just write a
elevator,
one.
came out,
Like you didn't want
they
to give
obviously
him
have set
damages,
things up
so
much
just
differently
write a
now,
one.
at the press conference area, and they've put up the I forget what you call them, not barricades, but you know. Yeah, the little.
Exactly.
They set it up so that the attorneys can walk out
Yeah.
in a civilized manner and not be swarmed
Almost
by
got
people.
Captain Jack Sparrow. You have to make like a meme of that one.
Yesterday
Yeah.
in anticipation.
But this more looks
That
like,
will
this
be
almost
brilliant.
This looks like almost like a red carpet or something. This is different than the barricades. This is like in front of the courthouse doors, and it's those things where you can kind of unhook.
I
the
think that
thing,
will be
the
a
little
brilliant
ribbon
one,
thing,
though.
and you can unhook it. And they have those, and there are
That will
fans
be
on both sides.
the
so there are Depp
most,
supporter that appears on both sides.
Right.
And
we're
Twittered
showing
and
our viewers
Insta
a
and
picture outside the
Facebook
courthouse right
meme
now. So,
over the world.
And by the way, I just want to say to everyone who's tuned in right now, we've got 2.7 million people watching us on YouTube. Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
Feel free to send in your questions, because while we wait, we want to answer more of your viewer questions. We've got
Questions?
once again our all-star panel.
When are we
Linda
go
Kenny
on?
Bowden's with us
Like,
in the studio.
it's
We've
just
got
a
other
number
guests
they have
joining
to
us.
fill in.
Obviously, and Jeanette is here, so keep sending us your questions, and we are here to answer them. Now, it's funny, you know, you say it's almost like a red carpet. These lawyers have really attained celebrity status over the last 6+ going on 7 weeks of this trial. I mean, Camille Vasquez now has fans from all over.
That's
Talk
true.
a little bit about that, about sort of like the status that these lawyers have earned during this trial.
Yeah, and
Well,
Ben
Johnny
Chu
Depp's
especially
lawyers.
and Camille Vasquez have become celebrities. You know, TikTok started making videos about both of them. There have been plenty of moments in this trial that were comical, despite the very serious subject matter being discussed. But there have been some amusing moments, and they have become stars in their own right. They've become almost legal superstars. So they've become celebrities. There have been times out here when they've left court where I actually felt a little
I think
bit
so.
concerned.
It's like, okay,
because
we're
I felt
having
like
3
even-
million views. Oh, we're back. And she's still sitting outside. Oh, Jesus. I actually, and earlier there was a discussion on about if Amber lose this defamation, free snacks, like they even didn't get a free lunch. What is, like, what? You're sitting there for bloody I don't know how long, then you have to bloody sit there and talk, and you don't even get a free lunch. You have to bring your sandwiches to the bloody court. Like, how ridiculous is that? Like, that they don't get dinner if they want to go on and deliberate longer. Okay, you know, but lunch, you don't even get lunch. Like, no wonder nobody wants to have like jury duty. There you come, you have to wake up early in the morning and make yourself a sandwich with peanut butter and then go to court. Like weirdos. Really? Well, I think they cut the lunch during the trial. So why not during deliberation? It's not that they're for fun, you know? So that's just a bit weird. Ah, Silver, you're missing the verdict. Gee. It's okay. You have a good day and I hope to see you soon. Not with the trial, but another live stream. That will be good.
All right.
And there we go. Oh, come on. Don't mess up our... There we go. Now it's here. It's finally here. Oh, please. Well, they're not looking very happy. So if the lawyers would have known something, she would probably be smiling. Okay, there we go, people. Silver is missing it.
All right, Mr. Foreperson, is this the verdict of the jury?
Yes.
All right, is it unanimous? Yes. Thank you, sir. Jamie?
In civil case number CL 2019-2911, Mr. Depp's claim against Ms. Heard. 1. As to the statement appearing in the online op-ed entitled, Amber Heard, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change. In the Washington Post online edition, quote, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change, end quote. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes. Has Mr. Depp proven by a greater weight of the evidence that, question, the statement was made or published by Ms. Heard? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was about Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was false? Answer, yes. Question, the
there we
statement
go.
has a defamatory implication about Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Question, the defamatory implication was designed and intended by Ms. Heard? Answer, yes. Question, due to circumstances surrounding the publication of the statement, it conveyed a defamatory implication to someone who saw it other than Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven by clear and convincing evidence that Ms. Heard acted with actual malice? Answer, yes.
Oh, she is done.
2. As to the statement appearing in the op-ed entitled A Transformative Moment for Women in the Washington Post print edition and the online op-ed, Amber Heard, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change. In the Washington Post online edition. Quote, then 2 years ago, I became a public figure representing domestic abuse, and I felt the full force of our culture's wrath for women who speak out, end quote. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes.
Oh.
Has Mr. Depp proven by a greater weight of the evidence that question, the statement was made or published by Ms. Heard? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was about Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was false? Answer, yes. Question, the statement has a defamatory implication about Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Question, the defamatory implication was designed and intended by Ms. Heard? Answer, yes. Question, due to circumstances surrounding the publication of the statement, it conveyed a defamatory implication to someone who saw it other than Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven by clear and convincing evidence that Ms. Heard acted with actual malice? Answer, yes. 3. As to the statement appearing in the op-ed entitled "A Transformative Moment for Women" in the Washington Post print edition and the online op-ed, Amber Heard, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. That has to change. In the Washington Post online edition. Quote, I had the rare vantage point.
Well, I
of
would
seeing
already
in
be
real time
crying if I
how
were her and I
institutions
told the
protect
truth.
men accused of abuse. End quote. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes.
Oh, she is
Has Mr.
gone.
Depp
She's
proven
going for
by a greater weight
everything.
of the evidence that question, the statement was made or published by Ms. Heard? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was about Mr. Depp? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was false? Answer, yes. Question, the statement has a defamatory implication about Mr. Depp? Answer, yes.
Oh, God.
Question, the defamatory
She
implication
just got bitch
was
slapped.
designed and intended by Ms. Heard? Answer, yes. Question, due to circumstances surrounding the publication of this statement, it conveyed a defamatory implication
Liar.
to someone who saw
Sorry.
it other than Mr. Depp?
I'm still
Answer,
half Switzerland.
yes. Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven by clear and convincing evidence that Ms. Heard acted with actual malice? Answer, yes. As against Amber Heard, we, the jury, award compensatory damages in the amount of $10 million. As against Amber Heard, we, the jury, award punitive damages in the amount of $5 million. In civil case number CL 2019-2911, Ms. Heard's claim against Mr. Depp. 1. As to this statement appearing in the April 8, 2020 online edition of the Daily Mail, quote, Amber Heard and her friends in the media use fake sexual violence allegations as both a sword and shield, depending on their needs. They have selected some of her sexual violence hoax facts as the sword, inflicting them on the public and Mr. Depp. Do you find that Ms. Heard has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, no. 2. As to this statement appearing in the April 27, 2020 online edition of the Daily Mail, quote, quite simply, this was an ambush, a hoax. They set Mr. Depp up by calling the cops, but the first attempt did not do the trick. The officers came to the penthouses, thoroughly searched and interviewed, and left after seeing no damage to face or property. So Amber and her friends spilled a little wine and roughed the place up, got their story straight under the direction of a lawyer and publicist, and then placed a second call to 911, end quote. Do you find that Ms. Heard has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes. Has Ms. Heard proven by a greater weight of the evidence that, question, Mr. Waldman, while acting as an agent for Mr. Depp, made or published the statement? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was about Ms. Heard? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was seen by someone other than Ms. Heard? Answer, yes. Question, the statement was false? Answer, yes. Do you find that Ms. Heard has proven, by clear and convincing evidence, that the statement by Mr. Waldman was made with actual malice? Answer, yes. 3. As to this statement,
That's a bit
appearing
weird,
in the
isn't it?
April 27th, 2020 online edition of the Daily Mail, quote, "We've reached the beginning of the end of Ms. Heard's abuse hoax against Johnny Depp," end quote. Do you find that Ms. Heard has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, no. As against John C. Depp II, we, the jury, award compensatory damages in the amount of $2 million. As against John C. Depp II, we, the jury, award punitive damages in the amount of $0.
All right. Does either side wish to have the jury polled?
Yes, Your Honor.
Jamie?
Well,
Members of the jury, if this is your verdict, please answer yes. If this is not your verdict, please answer no. Juror number 6. Yes. Juror number 10. Yes. Juror number 15. Yes.
she's
Juror
gone.
number 16. Yes.
So what does she has to pay him?
Juror
12
number
million
22.
or 13?
Juror
13
number
million?
27. Juror number 29.
Yes. All right. I do find that the jury's verdict is unanimous. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes your service in this case. I want to thank you again for your dedication and your hard work during this trial. And I know I speak for everybody here when I tell you that we appreciate your sacrifices and your time and your public service. in this
Even
matter,
the
okay?
jury isn't
So I'm going to have you
interfering.
go back to the jury
Well,
deliberation room for one more time, and then we'll release you from there, okay? All right, thank you.
well, I don't know if the judge still can do something about it. Like, Amber is fucked, guys. Like, hard. Like, bitch slapped. Straight in the face. Like, that was not a slap, that was a hit.
Okay. In accordance with law, I will amend the punitive damages award to the statutory cap of $350,000 on Mr. Depp's award, okay? I will set this down for entry of an order. And can we do it on
So
June 24th
he only
at 10
gets
a.m. if that's available?
350,000.
All right,
Yes,
if
Your
Mr. Chu, if you could prepare that order and then circulate it to Ms. Brederhoff, and we can have all the objections noted on it.
So,
All right?
hold on. So, she just needs
All
to
right,
pay him
and if I get it before that date, I'll take it off the
350,000.
docket. Okay. All right. Again, thank you to all the attorneys.
And she
for your
still gets a
professionalism,
2 million.
you're welcome
Really?
to come to my courtroom anytime. Well, give me a few weeks, but then you can come anytime. Okay. All right. Court is adjourned.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
Okay, I'm confused, people. Like, she got 2 million. And his cap is on 350,000. Why? Like, he got bloody 15 million. Well, minus the 2. So, please, 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 please. So what, he still has to pay her, like, what, 1 million and a bit? Like, that's no justice, is it? Well, they all look happy. Well, it's about his name, so she lied about anything. He won. But I'm still confused about the amount of money. Not that it probably really matters, but she shouldn't get anything more than that he gets, in my opinion. So, I really want to know what's going on. Well, Johnny won, but only that's... like Amber won the one statement that Waldman said that they really set up the place on purpose, like throwing everything around and spilling wine. Like, they didn't really prove that that was false. So that's just 1 point Amber Heard won, but she got 2 million for that point. So Johnny got 15 million, but there is apparently a cap of 350,000. So I'm not sure what that means. You know, so he doesn't get the money because there is a cap of 350. Weird. But Johnny Depp won.
Outside the courtroom where you can see these fans, as I said, every time a judgment was read in favor of Johnny Depp, a huge crowd, cheers, went up here. The crowd cheering, Johnny, clearly heavily tilted in favor of Johnny Depp outside the courtroom right now. And so they're still standing outside. I imagine they are going to be here waiting for Johnny Depp's legal team to come out. As I was talking about just a few minutes ago with Anjanette, the lawyers themselves have basically earned celebrity status during the course of this trial. The judge sending the jurors back into the jury room one more time before they are dismissed. Linda, do you think we're going to hear anything from Amber Heard?
Well, she came to the courthouse, so I assume that she will give a press conference. So they'll say they're going to appeal the verdict. They'll say that she was vindicated. Remember, this case has a lot of spin going on with it. But she's going to be asked the question is, how do you feel about the jury not believing your claims against Johnny Depp that he is he was the abuser? It turns out he was the victim, and she's not going to be happy with that question. I don't think there's an answer she can give that can spin that.
I wouldn't even appeal if I was
We're
her.
going to hear from her legal team. Maybe they'll take some questions. My guess is
like with you guys,
out, and that's a big if, because this is a pro Johnny Depp crowd out here. If she were to come out, maybe she would make a brief prepared statement and then be like immediately ushered into a car by security. I don't think she's going to be doing any kind of press conference, answering any major questions right now. Depp's team, on the other hand, I expect they will be. Again, for those who are just tuning in, the verdicts, I should say, not the verdict, but the verdicts are in, and Johnny Depp, the clear winner here, the jury determining that Amber Heard did defame him on all 3 counts that were being considered in her 2018 Washington Post op-ed. And joining us now is the one, the only, Dan Abrams, the founder of the Law and Crime Network, with us. Dan, give me your reaction.
Well, first of all, we have to say, wow. I mean, I'm sitting in a car watching this live stream, just like 3 million plus others have been on the Law and Crime Network. And the fact that Johnny Depp won on all 3 of the counts is pretty amazing. Remember, this is a case where he sued a publication in London where the standard is harder to win. And a judge came back and said, no, he believed that Johnny Depp was a, quote, wife beater on 12 of 14 counts. Now you have a jury here of 7 people, 5 men and 2 women, coming back and saying that Johnny Depp was defamed on all 3 of the counts. I mean, this, I think, is a real surprise to a lot of people. Now, I had talked about previously the possibility of both of them, quote unquote, winning. But I think this, quote, win for Amber Heard is really a token win. Putting aside the money, right? Putting aside the fact that it's $15 million for him, $2 million for her, that's not just the issue here. You know, it sounds like the issue the jurors had with the statement made by the lawyer for Johnny Depp was about the fact that she got together with her friends, effectively conspiring. So maybe they didn't believe that aspect of it. But it seems to me that the takeaway from this case is these jurors believed Johnny Depp and they didn't believe Amber Heard. I don't think there is any other way to interpret all of these verdicts together.
Well, you can't really, because
and Dan,
he is totally cleared
the
of
statement
everything.
in which the jurors found for Amber Heard was a longer one that Adam Waldman made, in which he said, you know, talking about
I still want to know about that 350,000.
To your point, saying, yeah, so Amber and her friends spilled a little wine, they roughed up the place, got their story straight under the direction of a lawyer and publicist, then placed a second call to 911. So perhaps the jurors didn't believe that that whole sort of collaboration, right, conspiring happened. Would you say that then this is not a total loss for Amber Heard, though?
I think it's a total loss for Amber Heard.
It is a total loss.
I mean, it's better that she won that one aspect of it than if she didn't win anything. Her team can now try and spin it and suggest that it was, you know, both sides and people didn't believe either. But in the end, I mean, when we talk to these jurors, and I'm sure that some of them will talk, they're going to tell you, I feel confident that they're going to tell you that they simply did not believe Amber Heard. Because remember, it's not that she won on all 3 of the counts with regard to her countersuit either. I mean, if basically the jurors had come back and said he wins on all counts and she wins on all counts, then I'd have a different answer for you. But because they said he wins on all counts, but she just wins on this one issue, seems to me.
Yeah, and I think that was the cooperation that she did it with her friends.
2 and 3 with regard to Johnny Depp, not just the sexual violence claim, but the rest of it. I don't see how those jurors come back and say that he was defamed and that there was any sort of equivalency here. If he was defamed by that statement and Amber Heard did not win on those countersuits with regard to calling it a hoax, etc., these jurors clearly believed Johnny Depp and didn't believe Amber Heard.
Yeah, Dan, let me stop you here because our 3.5 or so million viewers, 3 million viewers on YouTube, some people have some concerns. They want to make sure that you are not driving. Like so many people, I'm sure you stopped whatever
I
you
was
were doing when you
thinking
heard
that.
a verdict was coming at 3 o'clock. You picked up your phone and dialed into YouTube, right?
I'm in the back seat of a car. I'm not actually driving the car.
Right. He's not at the wheel, guys. He's in the back seat of a car. He's safe. Everyone on the road is safe. Dan's a lawyer. He wouldn't endanger himself and others. Let's talk about the appeal. Is Amber Heard going to appeal this, Dan?
Stupid.
Absolutely, she's going to appeal it.
Really?
And remember, people have
Don't
to remember
you guys
that
think
when
that's
you're appealing,
stupid?
You're appealing primarily the legal rulings, right? So she will appeal some of the testimony that was allowed to come in. She will appeal some of the aspects of the judge's rulings in this case, the pretrial rulings, the ruling itself. She's going to challenge the fact that there was a camera in the courtroom. There's going to be a whole panoply of challenges that she's going to make about how unfair the trial was, and she'll also seek to reduce damages, right? In any appeal, the first thing you want to do, in addition to try and get a new trial, get it thrown out, is to try to reduce the damages and say that the jury made mistakes in how it assessed damages. I think that's her most likely chance of success here, but that's not going to be the win for her. I mean,
I wouldn't do this, or I even wouldn't do that, people. I would actually get my lawyer, talk with Johnny's lawyer, saying I can pay 50 million, mate. You know, I will not appeal, but then I don't pay you the money.
She probably doesn't have that kind of money. This is vindication for Johnny Depp.
But I wouldn't go and make a fool of myself again.
And that means that these jurors believe that he was not a domestic abuser. And I think that allows him to get back his career in many ways. You could argue there were other reasons he'd lost much of his career, but this is a massive win for Johnny Depp, and I don't think it can be underestimated to characterize it that way.
Yeah, I mean, Dan, you touched on the damages, and let me remind our viewers again that the jury awarded Johnny Depp $15 million in damages, and they awarded Amber Heard $2 million for finding that one of the statements made by Johnny Depp's lawyers was defamatory, so a little bit of imbalance in what's owed. To your point, Amber might not have that money. We've talked about this already, but what happens to her in this case? She doesn't have the $15 million for damages.
Well, we'll see. Look, there's going to be a lot of appeals. We're a long way from the final judgment being issued in this case, and Johnny Depp pursuing the damages against her. Well, let's see what happens there before we say that Amber Heard is going to have to declare bankruptcy. Which is potentially something that could happen in the end if she owes.
Well, she is done in Hollywood, that's for
and
sure.
simply can't pay it. She could also try and raise money through donations, etc.
If I was Warner Bros., I even wouldn't put Aquaman 2 out with her in her, because that would not go well.
Exactly how much she's going to have to pay and how she's going to get that money.
Let's talk about Johnny Depp for a second, because a little bit before we found out that there was a verdict, we did confirm that he was not going to be here. There had been a lot of speculation. We know he's been playing rock shows the last 3 nights in the UK. We knew there was a possibility he'd stay there. In fact, his team confirmed he would be staying there and watching the verdict from there.
Still didn't hear anything about that 350,000 though.
This is not a criminal case. I think that people are sort of conflating this with a criminal trial. People say, how could he not be there? This is a civil case for damages. You could argue, okay, does he not care enough to be there? I don't know. I mean, don't view it as particularly significant that when it comes to a verdict that could take many days, that he decided he didn't want to wait. That's really more, from my perspective, a PR issue than it is a legal question. And dollars, okay, but that didn't happen.
I think.
And so.
Okay, you're back. You're back. Dan, can you hear me still?
Yeah.
Okay, so you brought up really it's more of a PR question, and so no, that's okay. We get it, lots going on. Listen, so you said, yeah, that's a PR question about Depp not being here. So I have another PR question for you, because you watch so many of these high-profile trials, and yes, this is not a criminal trial, but we've seen a lot of high-profile civil trials. We know that these stars' reputations, you know, what was left of them essentially were at stake. Amber Heard's in the courtroom. We know.
Well, somebody is coming out.
Do you think Amber Heard is going to address the media at all?
I don't think, with all those Johnny Depp fans out there, she wants to hold a press conference where people start yelling at her and those sound bites end up showing. If I were her PR team,
I would let
the lawyers for Amber Heard make statements. I wouldn't have her. I'd have her sit down with someone, you know, a relatively favorable journalist sometime, you know, tomorrow, next day, whenever, to give her statement. I don't think she wants the sound bites of her, you know, talking about how upset she is, about the disappointed she is, and people yelling at her and jeering at her. But I'd expect that both sides' lawyers would likely make themselves available to the media right there after the case. And of course, the most interesting part is going to be talking to the jurors, if and when they'll talk.
Yeah.
And they're the ones I'm most interested in talking to. Yeah.
Absolutely. Dan, thank you so much for dialing in and sharing your response with us, your reactions to this big pivotal moment after more than 6 weeks of covering this trial. We thank you so much. Maybe we'll check in with you later. But for now, I want to go right to Linda in the studio. She has a statement from Johnny Depp, his reaction to the verdict. Linda.
Oh, my goodness. I'm actually trying to find it right now, Stacey. So just give me 1 second here. Hold on 1 second. You know, live TV, a lot going on. Okay, I need the statement. I will read it to you, but I need the statement. But while I'm waiting for that, if our producers can put it here, okay? All right, let me read it right now. Hold on a second. Okay, here we go, all right? And by the way, I love Dan commenting on our favorite witness by giving his report from his car. Alejandro, I'm changing my Zoom background. But here's Johnny Depp by his spokesperson. 6 years ago, my life, the life of my children, the lives of those closest to me, and also the lives of the people who for many, many years have supported and believed in me were forever changed, all in the blink of an eye. False, very serious and criminal allegations were levied at me by the media, which triggered an endless barrage of hateful content, although no charges were ever brought against me. It had already traveled around the world twice within a nanosecond, and it had a seismic impact on the life and my career. And 6 years later, the jury gave back my life. I am truly humbled. My decision to pursue this case, knowing very well the height of the legal hurdles that I would be facing and the inevitable worldwide spectacle into my life, was only made after considerable thought. From the very beginning, the goal of bringing this case was to reveal the truth regardless of the outcome. Speaking the truth was something that I owe to my children and to those who have remained steadfast in their support of me. I feel at peace knowing that I have finally accomplished that. I am and have been overwhelmed by the outpouring of love and the colossal support and kindness from around the world. I hope that my quest to have the truth be told will have helped others, men or women, who have found themselves in my situation, and that those supporting them never give up. I also hope that the position will now return to the innocent until proven guilty, both within the courts and the media. I wish to acknowledge the noble work of the judge, the jurors, the court staff, and the sheriffs who have sacrificed their own time to get to this point, and to my diligent and unwavering legal team who did an extraordinary job in helping me share the truth. The best is yet to come, and a new chapter has finally begun. Veritas numquat perit. Truth never perishes. That's from Johnny Depp.
There you go, guys.
Stacey, I know that you are sitting out there with Anjanette. We have Nima here in the studio right now. What is your reaction to that? Stacey, what is going back to you, your reaction to all that? Johnny Depp's statement, very long,
my
very well
reaction
thought.
to you, my reaction to you is Amber Heard's statement, which we just have in to us right now. Let me read that. The disappointment I feel today is beyond words. I'm heartbroken that the mountain of evidence still was not enough to stand up to the disproportionate power, influence, and sway of my ex-husband. I'm even more disappointed with what this verdict means for other women. It is a setback. It sets back the clock to a time when a woman who spoke up and spoke out could be publicly shamed and humiliated.
Oh,
it sets
please,
back
woman.
the idea that violence against women is to be taken seriously. She goes on to say, I believe Johnny's attorney succeeded in getting the jury to overlook the key issue of freedom of speech and ignore evidence that was so conclusive that he won in the UK. I'm sad I lost this case, but I am sadder still that I seem to have lost a right that I thought I had as an American to speak freely and openly. Again, that's a statement from Amber Heard sent to us by her publicist.
Not
where
when
she
you
says,
are
I'm sad
lying.
I lost this case. So even though the jurors did find that Johnny Depp's attorney defamed her with one of his statements, as we've been saying, clearly this is a big loss for her. And Linda, when she says, you know, this is an affront to freedom of speech, what's your take on that?
It's not. The problem is that we said this is a very important case for freedom of speech when we started covering it here at the Law and Crime Network. But it's also important that those don't abuse it. People do not abuse the freedom of speech. They don't defame others, especially calling someone who may have been the victim, or now the jury says is the victim, the abuser, and changing his life and the life of his family and children forever. So you have freedom of speech, yes, but you can't lie about people, and you can't lie about the people in the public. And I think the jury felt that, as we talked many times on this network, that Amber Heard was manipulative, and they did not want to be manipulated by her lies to them. And therefore, they came out with this very convincing verdict. And it is a total win, as Dan Abrams said, for Johnny Depp, because on the other side of the token, what you have is a lawyer who's going to be paying a malpractice policy if it doesn't get overturned on appeal.
Linda, Anjanette
Amber, yeah, Amber is done. Like Amber got bitch-slapped.
What was the mood? Did
Hard.
you get any reaction from Amber and her team? What was going on in there as the verdicts were read?
I even wouldn't come up with such a statement like, we all know you lied.
Obviously, I'm seeing the back of their heads. So
you're not doing yourself any favor.
They're disappointed.
You know?
They believe they're right. They believe he's wrong. But the jury saw otherwise. The jury, he ran the table. He may not have gotten the $50 million, but he won on every question.
Right.
That jury found that they believed that she lied. That's what they're saying. They're saying she lied and that she put it out there in the public to hurt him. And it did hurt him. So she will appeal, I'm sure. But, you know, obviously, he lost on the second Waldman statement.
Right.
So, yes.
So, you know, we said, okay, a little bit of a win for her. Now, it seemed extremely quiet, like you could hear a pin drop in there.
Yes.
I assume, was there any reaction from the crowd? Did anyone sort of gasp, sigh, anything like that, you know?
Yeah, there were smiles, obviously. There were smiles. I kept trying to look around to see Ben Chu and Camille Vasquez's reactions. And, you know, they were kind of, I could see Ben Chu smiling a little bit, but it wasn't like a huge, huge smile. You know, it's a court of law. There's a certain level of decorum. Obviously, they are pleased. They won. They may not have gotten the $50 million that they were seeking in the original
didn't
claim,
really, or he actually said he didn't want money.
Compensatory
so
damages of $10 million, and then
they even didn't came back with money.
Capped at $350,000.
The judge had to send them actually back to write some money on it.
But, you know, I could see there were fans of his in there who were smiling. I must say, I think I mentioned this on the air earlier today, and I wanted to grab him before I came out here, and I just couldn't. I hope he comes. If you're watching, he said he's been watching. Come by the tent. Please come by the tent. We invite you. But this gentleman was in line with me for a wristband this morning, and he said that he used to try cases, is what he said. And he told me this morning he believed, I'm pretty sure he said, I believe the jury will be back today and they will give him $14 million. When they said the 10 and 5, I literally looked back.
Yeah, she gets $2 million because the jury didn't believe that she actually worked together with all her friends to set him up. So she gets like $2 million for that.
You've been talking to these lawyers throughout the process. You
like that wasn't really proven.
I mean, they were not allowed.
Like it was proven that she was setting him up. It wasn't proven that her friends actually were involved in it. Like they testified in court as well that they never saw anything happen to her physical. No, they said they saw the bruises and things, but they didn't see him hitting her. So
more than 3 million people watching on our channel alone.
You can't really prove that. So that point I can understand, but the hoax point she lost and things like that. So yes, she did a hoax and she set him up.
They might come out.
So it's a big win for Johnny.
But still, pay attention, obviously, to what we're doing here.
Sure.
So we're not being rude here, people. This is just how we operate in 2022.
Right.
So we are trying to get that information. I would certainly hope they would come out. We're allowed to do this now. This was not allowed during the trial, not at all. The judge said nothing, no interviews, no public statements.
Right. Which is common during.
Correct. It's a gag order of sorts.
Yeah. So we want to, for those who may have missed part of the verdicts, it happened somewhat quickly. Let's go back and listen to the part when the jurors delivered their monetary judgment in Johnny Depp's favor.
We need to drink a mega pint. But there we go. I think that's the only moment she was actually like a bit emotional. Like if it really would have happened, she would be crying by now.
$5 million. In civil case number CL 2019-2911, Ms. Heard's claim against Mr. Depp.
Okay, some technical difficulties. Okay. We're having some technical difficulties apparently with that clip. So Anjanette, we were just talking about, we expect attorneys from both sides are going to come out, probably make a statement, maybe Johnny Depp's team. Here's some activity now. So can we go in line?
Camille, like she is my new favorite person.
You can hear the cheers erupting. I can only assume that is the Depp legal team coming outside right now.
Well,
taking their real live
I would take the back door if I was Amber and her lawyers.
I'm gonna go to the podium.
They are approaching the podium. Ben Chu, Camila Vasquez, the rest.
They were shocking, Amber's lawyers. So yeah, if I were they, I would run like through the back door, like fast. But then Amber's statement, and then still talking about being a domestic violence person.
Today's verdict confirms what we have said from the beginning, that the claims against Johnny Depp are defamatory and unsupported by any evidence. We are grateful, so grateful to the jury for their careful deliberation, to the judge and the court staff who have devoted an enormous amount of time and resources towards this case.
Our judicial system is predicated on each person's right to have his or her case heard, and we were honored, truly honored, to assist Mr. Depp in ensuring that his case was fairly considered throughout the trial. We are also most pleased that the trial has resonated for so many people in the public who value truth and justice. Now that the jury has reached its conclusive verdict, it's time to turn the page and look to the future. Thank you all so much, and thanks to the jury.
Thank you so much.
Guys, have you spoken to Johnny? How is he feeling? How's Johnny feeling? Will Johnny and Amber ever speak to each other again? Ms. Vasquez, is this the end of the matter? Ms. Vasquez, will there be any more legal action?
More legal action? Well, it will be sure that apparently Amber will appeal. And I don't get it. Why would you?
Well, there you have it. Attorneys for Johnny Depp.
Like, why would you go through it and become a big fat liar again? It's like, whoa. I really would sit just on the table with Johnny lawyers and saying, I can pay that money.
I heard someone say, will Johnny Depp and Amber Heard ever speak to each other again, to the attorneys? It's a good question, actually. And I guess that's it for now. Some of what they said, we are so grateful to the judge and jury. We were truly honored to assist Mr. Depp. We are most pleased that this trial has resonated for so many who value truth and justice. A quick victory statement from the legal team. Linda, did you expect they would say any more? Did you expect they would say any less?
I love the statement. I love the fact that it was short, because they know they're going to say it's a victory for their client. They know that this is their client's win, that he pushed them. This moment belongs to the client. So I love the fact that they were short, they were sweet, and they gave credit to their client. And you know, Stacey, when we were looking and waiting for that verdict, and remember I was talking about how everyone was stoic and stone-faced and poker-faced?
Great camera work.
Turn around, actually, to her team with a big smile before the verdict was read, which was kind of like a clue. They know they had won that case.
Yeah, for sure. So now we wait and see whether Amber's team comes out and makes a brief statement as well.
They will not come out.
I have to imagine they are going to say something. Not Amber herself, but the legal team. Obviously, they may be booed, although I'm already seeing some of the Depp supporters leave. You know, there was
Amber already gave her statement. That was like, are you kidding me, woman? Still? After all the lies, you still want to say that? That's a bit sad. Anyways,
you know, we have a little bit of a
So 1 hour further, Johnny Depp won on all 3 counts. Amber won on just 1 count. It was a bit expected, because that is like a conspiracy theory. So Johnny won 15 million. Amber 2 million. I still don't know what 350,000 cap was, though. Anyways, thank you for watching. Trial days were pretty long. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you next stream. And now we have to figure out what that will be about. Okay, guys. See you later.